today. I hope we all had a good, safe weekend. And let's see. Just wanted to try something today where we are basically just reapproaching the guitar and our live stream. I wanted to try something where I'm working on the vertical stream, or the horizontal stream. So let's try that. We're going to evolve a little bit as we move along here in the next few weeks, I think. And that's okay, because that's what this is all about. This is all about evolution of the species, isn't it? And thank you for being here. And hey, Kevin, Mr. Haas is in the house. Awesome. That's great news. This is wonderful news. Let me go ahead and move this around here a little bit and move this chair out of the way, just so we don't have that distraction. I'm going to have, I was sent another audio solution, so I'm going to have a different audio solution tomorrow. So the audio should be a little bit better. And good morning, Mark. Good morning. I can't see the live chat like I used to could, but that's okay. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, everyone. Once again, and I'll go ahead and just sort of tap that the like button if you're here. I don't know what this changes for you. If this is not a good format for you, if it doesn't work very well, then I'd like to just kind of get this to what works for you. So don't hesitate to, if you do have comments or questions about this happening in this format, just please let us know, and we'll keep an eye out for you, okay? And glad to see people here this morning. I'm just going to do some light housekeeping. As you know, my name is Jason. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And what I like to do is I like to broadcast my morning ritual for guitar growth, my actual honest to goodness warm-up routine, at least part of my warm-up routine. Okay, excellent. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for the feedback. And we should have a better audio solution tomorrow. We have a provider that shipped a couple of different things, so we're going to be exploring that a little bit. And we have some other interesting news, and I like to try to keep of course, I like to try to keep the news light and lively, and there are plenty of other places on the planet where we can go be depressed beyond recognition. So you won't mind if I continue to keep our discussions focused on what's going on with the world of warm-up guitar. This isn't intended to be a public forum for any kind of discourse other than what relates directly to the guitar. And once in a while we'll go sort of right off the rails, but for most of this, we'll definitely look forward to keeping ourselves on track and focused on guitar-related issues. So I definitely appreciate this, and unless we deem otherwise, we'll just continue just moving it right down this road. But I appreciate you being patient with me while I'm moving through I'm just moving through just a really simple, basic warm-up pattern. But before we do that, I have to just get my fingernails ready for the week, or for the day at least anyway. I've got some programmatic stuff that we need to take care of this morning, so that's going to require my attention to the details of my nails, so I won't have time after this to do that. So that's why I'm doing that now. Of course, I have the guitar. My morning ritual is basically at the moment, I've been using my workhorse guitar. This is my sort of like beater guitar, and this is a Martin D X2E, which you might find that you might be able to purchase this if you want. So let me just go ahead and see what we have available, if it indeed is available here in my bucket list. So if I did, let's say I did want one of those guitars, I would go ahead and just purchase one of these things. So here's what's going on, and there's one of those for you if you need one. I also use guitars, the A440s in tune. I also use every weekday morning. I also use a metronome, which is a super important piece of equipment. I do have a capo ready and handy. This one's a Page capo. I do use a tuning fork, an A440 tuning fork every week, as you know, every day, as you know, because I do not use mechanical tuners for while we prepare ourselves for the day. I do like to get my ears wrapped around the tuning. So right now, we'll just go ahead and get moving along with the tuning process. Hopefully the audio is bearable today. And today I did want to talk a little bit about a little bit of, like, you know, super simple strum patterning. I know our good friend, well, you know, Mr. Tom Petty, the late great Tom Petty, was the Wildflowers album is now like 30 years old. So I did want to talk about that a little bit today. And we'll talk about sort of the opening track, I think, later on as we start getting to the end of the session. Thank you for the feedback, Kevin. It's really good to see you, my friend. It's really good to see you. So my picking hand needs some attention, so we'll go ahead and start right now with fingers 2 and 4 on frets 10 and 12, and 1 E and 2 E and A. You know what to do. 60 beats per minute, and we're just going through the old... We're just going through the old motions, you know, old movements. I bet. Glad to be back. This way, when we're playing the guitar this way, I think you can see that I'm going to change my laps a little bit, because it's really important to change the lap as we go on, as we start to play through the morning ritual. Even as much as I run, or well, I say jog, as much as I jog and yoga, you know, stretch, my back still suffers if I don't go ahead and maintain good quality posture. So we'll go ahead and be sure to do that. But we'll also go ahead and switch between the left and right legs so that we have the guitar balancing itself in good form, keeping our bodies and our lower backs, which are sensitive areas for some of us. We'll keep that nice and healthy and limber. So we want to be doing yoga as much as we can, and any kind of stretching that we can do every day for our back. Every 15 minutes, you know what we do? Every 15 minutes we do actually stretch the forearms and the phalanges and the carpals and metacarpals, tarsals, and all that stuff. We do stretch that every 15 minutes, so we do have that to look forward to at the quarter of the hour. We're here until 8:30, so if you're new here and you're just seeing this for the first time and you have a guitar friend who might be interested in what's going on, you can always share this link with that person and we can warm up together. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. 1 E and 2 fingers, 1 and 2 on 10 and 12. We're starting with 2-finger permutations. 2 fingers. What if my name was Mr. Django Reinhardt? And what if my fingers were burned severely enough to be fused, kind of like fused together? Would I stop playing the guitar, or would I continue to play the guitar? Well, this exercise and the fact that we warm up with this should provide a pretty solid answer for whether we would continue playing the guitar or not. And you can see I'm not sure if you can see him, but we'll say hello to Murphy a little later on. He's back here lacing out with us, being a great, like a wonderful guitar companion this morning. He's laying on the one of the Berkeley books on the floor is just wide open. He's just kind of laying all over it, pooching it up. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So fingers 2 and 4 on 9 and 12, and here we go. And a 4E and just working on the old, picking hand and fretting hand. Just getting these things woken up, just waking them up, welcoming them into the morning. Saying, good morning, guitar. Just working on the, simple things this morning. Hey, good morning, Jill. Good morning. We're just trying a slightly different format today. We should have some improved audio tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's working for you this morning, then that's great. Great to see you, Jill. All right, so we've got a wee bit of a tuning issue with the high E string. Good. And fingers 1 and 3 on frets 9 and 12. We'll just go ahead and kick it. So yeah, we're just trying a different format. I'm not sure what the format's going to look like. I'm not sure if we're going to stick with the widescreen format. It seems to be a more practical sort of like format where we can sort of look at what's going on and see more clearly with a little bit, the angles are a little better, so I think it's probably a little better situation. So we'll try tomorrow we'll just work on trying to continue upgrading what's going on here. I know this is like episode 184 or something like that, and we've been here long enough, but we're going through the entire year of 2025, and we're starting to really make some significant progress. So if you remember where we started from with our first session, and you remember where we have come from, this is quite a remarkable process. So fingers 1 and 4 on frets 7 and 12. Go. Excuse me. Yes, if you're just starting the guitar, if you're wondering about the guitar, if you're thinking, man, I really would like to play the guitar, you don't have a guitar yet, we have some guitar builders right here in the live chat. We have some guitar players right here in the live chat. So it's a great place to ask questions about the guitar and to actually join us in playing the guitar. The whole idea behind this is to see what's going to happen so I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. for 1 hour, and I'm not sure if you're new here. I just wanted to take a minute to explain to you what's happening. So I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 for 1 hour, so that is basically 260 hours. I'm going to take the first video for the year, for the entire year I'm here, good Lord willing. The first video we did, last video we're going to compare those two and take a look at what kind of gains we get. So that's the short story, and that's largely what we're doing here. So let's go ahead and do fingers 2, 3, and 4 on 10, 11, and 12, and then we'll come back and stretch it out. So 1 E, and you got this. I know it feels a little bit, it's a little bit much, but you got this. One more episode, one more exercise. You do not have to keep up with me. You could go slower, you could go faster. The trick here is to be in total control of every tone that you're playing. So every note should be equally loud and equally thick and rich with sound, which is challenging to do, because the guitar has 6 different gauge strings on it. So it's a little bit, it can be a little bit challenging to get consistent tone, to draw a consistent tone out of the guitar across the entire string set. But these exercises are designed for us to go slowly or quickly or anywhere in between. So you do not have to do anything I say. You don't have to do any of that stuff. This is all just here for to whet your appetite so that you can use your own imagination. If you have an imagination where you have a different finger permutation you'd like to add to your warm-up and you think it would be beneficial for all of us, we're excited to hear about it. In the live chat's a great place to communicate those ideas. And once in a while we'll go ahead and do the finger roll, where we do 2, 3, 4, and then 4, 3, 2, and then 2, 3, 4, and then 4, 3, 2. Just to kind of break up the monotony and give our fret hands a little bit more challenge, because you never know when we're going to need those tools. So let's do one more and then we'll stretch. I know I said we'll stretch right after that, but this is the third finger the third finger exercise that will get us to the stretch. You could start by just doing 1, 2, 3 all the way through the situation, or all the way through the situation you can just do 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 3, 2. Yes. And you can see what the right hand, my picking hand, is doing here is the pick is rolling over my index finger. And I'm really working on shaping tone. Not that my tone is anything, spectacular, but I'm really working on changing, controlling the tonal development here. Good. All right. So let's go ahead and stretch this morning. So, hey, Robbie's in the house. Good morning, Robbie. Good morning. So we have a slightly different format going today. We've got Murphy taking sort of a wee nap down here. I don't know if you can see him back there, but there he is. There's Murph. There's the upright bass right there. You see it? Yeah. So it's just an easy start this morning. And we're starting with, we're going to go ahead and start with the old, just the finger stretches, the forearm stretches. Just really simple stuff. Yeah, super simple. Keep it real and fun, but mostly real, How many of you have heard Tom Petty's Wildflowers album? How many of you are familiar with Tom Petty's Wildflowers album. It's like a mid-90s release, I guess. Early mid-90s, I think. We are going to use the capo today, so if you have a capo available, now would be a great time to go ahead and get that ready. The best album, yeah. Yeah, it's hard to, it's a very honestly written album. I think he was more honest and transparent on that record than I think I've ever heard him be. Just a remarkable piece of work, yeah. Agreed. So if you're just joining us, we're still at 60 beats per minute. I'm going to change my knees. So this is now going on I think I'm backwards this morning. Tomorrow I'll try to remedy that. But I'm on, I guess, my right knee right now. So let's use fingers 1 and 2 and 4, and we'll see where that takes us. And again, you can join. You don't have to be here with, fingers 1 and 2 and 4 and going at 4 attacks per beat like what I'm doing at 60 beats per minute. You can easily take your time and just do 2 attacks per beat or even 1 attack per beat, just as long as we're focusing on perfection. So we're shooting for perfection. That's the trick, is to shoot for perfection. You could even take those 1 attack per beat moments and use those as a focused approach for only upstrokes. So we could start beginning to train our tissue for upstrokes only. I would recommend, this is a highly recommended practice because most of us, as you know, we're kind of all victims of gravity. And so when we go up the ladder, it's a little more challenging than when we just come down the ladder, everything that goes up. So we're, as you know, strumming to the ground, we're working consistent with the pull of gravity. And then what we do when we do the upstroke is we're kind of working against it. So this tissue right here will be actually something that develops when we do exercises like this, just simple upstroke exercises. We're actually working those tissues. So if you're a complete beginner, this is actually something that we must do in order to overcome the actual honest to goodness challenges of the guitar, to make it sort of easier to play. We get a higher quality experience, and then we can start really evening out the distribution of notes via our alternate picking approaches. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, you know what I mean. Sometimes I feel like there may be an easier way to say some of these things, but I just want it to be very clean and very clear. So the upstroke is something that that I like to think that I need to take time to do and develop. I need to develop that muscle tissue, especially if I'm going to play in a funk band. If I'm going to play in a funk band and I'm going to legitimately play the funk, I've got to have my upstrokes sort of figured out. I've got those upstrokes have to be or a reggae band, or if I'm in a Rastafarian band. In order to keep up, I've got to get my upstrokes. My upstrokes better be tight. You know what I mean? That's. Here's the augmented triad rearing its ugly head again. Have to turn off the chat to hit the like button. That's new. Double tap on the screen does not work, but I found it. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm wondering a little bit about the different formats. So I thought it would be worth trying it out. Mark, I ran into the same thing with live chat or live chats with the vertical is a little different because it's intended for mobile viewport use, right? So the consumption on the go, and this is sort of like, what we're doing is definitely intended to be absorbed in the privacy of your home, at your desk, or in your studio, your practice space. So this is definitely a little bit different than it has been. It just feels different. Let's go ahead and use fingers 1 and 3. Yeah, you know me, Mark. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate you helping us to build this. But I really do appreciate that. It means a tremendous amount to me. It's what can I relate it to? You know, it's I do like ice cream an awful lot, and it's I do look forward to that. So, you know, I like the fact that you're considering, the success of another person's feed. So don't be too concerned, because we could have 0 likes and 0 watches, and I'm going to be here doing this anyway. So that's good, and I definitely appreciate the feedback. But I mean, if we could render this inglorious, this is not a glorious sort of live stream. You know what I mean? This is really a specialization for those of us who want to build a guitar practice. This is coming from a guitar player who started teaching professionally in high school and taught through music school. I taught professionally. I started a music program that eventually grew larger than a local university. And I had 16 or 20 teachers working for the program allegedly, and then fingers 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, long story, but 9, 10, 11, and 12. But it is a little bit like this part of the music business is not ever really glorified, and maybe we can do our part to glorify the importance of spending time with the self instead of doom scrolling or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So I'm working with organizations outside of my own to better the world that I'm living in, right? To better serve the world in which I live, and raising my children and grandchildren. So I definitely appreciate. I mean, I would love to see this, just like any other person. I'd love to see this live stream just sort of pop off. We've gone from 100 views to 11,000 views in a session, so it really depends on like what's going on. But now we're basically 3/4 of the way through our first year, our season 1. Let's say season 1, and this is episode 183 or 84, I believe. And so when you tune into this, if you've never been here before, if you haven't seen it, you might just say, oh, this is some fat middle-aged white dude practicing his guitar on the internet, and I'm really not interested in watching that. And who could blame him? So the trick is, I'm not really interested in converting those kinds of moments, except through repetition, except for continuing to show up and be here. So that's the trick. That's the repetition I'm engaged in, is to, through longevity, just kind of work on affecting change, like cultural change. So that's about it. And I'm working on stretching the old 4th finger. So it's 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. But you can rest assured that I have been there and done that, and and I feel okay with saying that. I've, you know, it's just what it is. And others have been there and done that. But there's a lot going on that I think it's more important to focus on just the messaging of getting with the self in the morning instead of just waking up and just pouring a bunch of depression on with the old doom scroll. And I understand sort of like checking the news and the weather is a little different now than it used to be for many of us. We absorb that in different ways now, but I also understand that it's been beneficial to me for the last year to do this because I've got to tell you, I cut my cholesterol in half. My weight is down 15 pounds. My blood pressure for the very first time that my wife has seen it is in the normal range, and so I can attest, like, we're going to go through all of the changes, that what happens when we spend 260 hours a year working on warming up with the guitar. Is it really not a glorification moment? We're going to take a look at the data that I've accumulated so far. This is going to change the world, the way guitarists, the way aspiring or budding guitar practitioners view the instrument. Guaranteed, it's going to change. It's going to be something that we all look at. The data is going to show significant figures, right? That's what's going to happen. But we're not really talking about it until we have the last video, and then we can put the whole program together and assemble, you know, a readout, a report. So 1 and a 2 E and a stretch that first finger. This is the kickstand, Jill. Here we go. 2 and go. I try the 1 attack per beat and call the notes out. Like I said, I try. Yeah, it's a good one to do. It's what I find really challenging is focusing on only the upstroke. So I'll go through, you know, we could go through the one beat or 1 attack per beat, but if I only focus, if I keep working on alternate picking, 4 attacks per beat, and I still play all of the downstrokes, or at least goes to all the downstrokes, I think those things where we provide complications into the permutation, anything or just focus on the downstroke. Use the alternate tone as like a ghosted note or whatever. So those really add layers of complications and complexity and interest to our improvisations or playing as guitar practitioners for the listener, right? I see the picking hand doing one thing, but it sounds different. You know, why is he not playing? Why is she not playing all of the notes that I'm watching the hand play, but why are there only 3 notes coming out? What's going on? So that creates a really interesting curiosity gap for the viewer and listener, especially a viewer. If you're in a live situation, that's a sensitivity that only happens, you know, over time. So we just did fingers. So we've come from 2 fingers, and then we did these 2 fingers, then these, and then these, let's see. And we did the 3 fingers, and then we did these, and then these, and then we did 4 fingers, and then we did the 4-finger stretch, the first finger stretch or the kickstand. And now what we're going to do is, this is the thing that we've been doing from the beginning. I like to continue doing this because it's such a great, it's just such a great picking sequence, you know, for the picking hand. And it's that diagonal pattern, so we're just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, T4, and then 4, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's a really easy approach. It's a simple approach. Hard to get if we're just brand new to this. This can be a difficult thing to program. But when we are programming the new things, it's okay just to go through the program slowly, you know. And this gives us a moment to observe what's actually going on with the pick. How much are we moving the pick, right? We want to minimize how much we are moving the pick. And then, so we, of course, we come back. These are all, you know, this contiguous strings. So we're looking at 4-string groups here. And then we're going to use, because we're all students, whether we know it or not, of George Van Epps. We organize the guitar a little bit into string groupings, right? And then there was a beautiful methodology, the Van Epps method. I think you can find the book. It's on. I have a copy of it. You can still find it on Amazon, but it's like $300. I guess it must be rare or something. But if you can find the Van Epps method, if you can get your hands on that, you'd be doing yourself a huge favor. Or if you'd like to email me, you can email me at grow@jasoncareyguitar.com. We can talk about Van Epps a little bit. Maybe I can work you through a couple pages of it, you know what I mean? So if that's something you're into, just grow, GROW, @jasoncareyguitar.com. You can reach me anytime. You could like send me photos of your guitar that you build, you know, or I don't know if you're into photography. We're doing like a, you know, a photographic essay of your new guitar, a photographic essay. Let's go ahead and take a look at this same exercise, but this time we're going to use 9, 10, 11, and 12 on the D, the low E. We're skipping over the A string, finger 2, finger 3, 2 middle strings. So 10, 9, 10, 11, and then skipping over the B string to grab that high E string with an upstroke. And this is giving us that same access to the, you know, the non-scalar sort of programmatic fret hand application, but it's also giving us access to non-contiguous string groupings, and it's helping to break up the monotony for our picking hand, which is, you know, it's quickly trained. You'd be surprised if we stick to it, like how quickly this gets, how trainable the picking hand is. But if you stick around, if you're here and you're sticking around, I think we're going to talk about some very basic but supremely interesting strum patterns from one of our favorite Tom Petty songs on the channel. We're going to do that in about another 5 or 6 minutes, so you might want to stick around or come back for it, you know. So with this in mind, we could also use chords from the cycle 4 sequencing. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, 4-note groupings. We could use 5-note groupings. We'd have to really figure that out. fun with that. So there's a lot to do here, but let me just break this down in 16th notes or 4 attacks per beat real quick. So C major 7 to F major 7. We're rolling up one pattern and then coming down the next. So it would be root 6 to root 5. So C major, F, B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, G flat, C flat or B, and then E, A, D, G, and then these are all major 7s. So I love playing that. But we're looking at so we've got this really cool, down, up, 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 down, up. Angshita, good morning. How are things going? So we have these really cool musically functional things that come from these non-musical linear expressions that we practice in the morning. So all of those things are super important and super just it's hard to express. Like there's a little bit of faith involved, that's for sure. Like, why are we doing this? So I feel like it's really important for me as a guide to express why we might be doing something or why I might be doing something. Because if I'm doing it, I feel like it might be beneficial to me and the style of music I like to write, and certainly the styles of music I like to approach. I think we've pretty much worked through a lot of what we're going to do for finger exercises. So we're working through that. Now what I think we're going to do is just spend a little bit of time, because we have about 4 minutes before we start getting the capo out. So if you're joining us, Angshita, I haven't seen your channel for some time, for a little bit of time now. How are things going musically for you? You must still be performing, still be singing, I would think. Just working through some pentatonic shapes, just a couple of things here, just to spend down the last 3 minutes as we start transitioning into strum patterns that we're looking for. So I think we're going to examine Wildflowers. So it's you belong among the wildflowers, you belong in a boat out at sea. Sail away. Just a beautiful song, but we're going to look specifically at what's happening with the picking hand. And it's super easy, but it's super tight, and it's Tom Petty, you know what I mean? So it's good to work. It's good repertoire to have, and good repertoire to revisit. And here we go. And 2/4. So this is shape number 2. I see people are downloading that pentatonic PDF. It's such a helpful thing to visualize how all of these shapes sort of link together and then what exactly they do. So you can look at that. If you would like to download it, it's free. If you haven't downloaded it yet, I can share a link to it if you'd like. And I feel like it's one of those things that you just need as a guitar player. It's not like, you know, it's not like learning my favorite song. These are lasting, fundamental benefits to the way I'm going to grow and think about being a guitar practitioner. So it's a thoughtfully produced 6-page or 8-page or whatever binder, but specifically gearing up toward the, let me see if I can just share a link for you for that. Yeah, I'm going to share a link to the video, and what you can do is you can watch the video if you'd like. But the important piece of this is to just look at the video as a link to the 5 shapes. So here's the video I'm going to share in the comments right now, and then I say I'm going to share this in the comments. Let's see what happens. Yeah, if you don't yet have the video, if you don't yet have this PDF, it's definitely worth grabbing. It's, like I said, it's free. I believe it should be free. Do you know what I mean? I believe it's a great resource. And so it's yours now, if you'd like it. Go ahead and download it. So we've got 1 more minute. I'm going to use shape number 3 from this. I just shared a link with you where you can go ahead and grab that PDF. It's free. But it doesn't mean that it's not valuable. It's a $10 PDF, do you know what I mean? But, and I know I probably should, you know, I should charge something for it to, you know, make it appear that it is valuable, but I believe I just wanted to get it out there to you because it's that important. I have a lot of people asking me about pentatonics, and as we go through and advance in our skill sets with pentatonicism, there are a lot of questions about how exactly we use the advancing concepts of pentatonicism. So these are very basic shapes and super important to learn as we go. So like I said, that PDF is yours for free. It's available right now in the live chat. Click the link to the video, and there's a link in the description, I believe, in that video, where you can just go grab that easily. It's free. Oh, good. All right. Thanks for asking. Was on a break for a while, going through some stuff at work, going to be back playing the guitar regularly again. Good to see you live. Well, it's great to be here, and I think a lot of us are going through those things, and I'm glad that you're here. I'm glad to hear that you're still focusing on guitar and music. So that's really great to hear. So, and thank you for being here, present here in the live chat, and contributing to the live chat. Yeah. As the minor pentatonic, right? So yeah, minor pentatonic, these pentatonic systems are so important to learn, you know? So super important stuff to learn, you know, and love it, every second of it. But I wanted to take a look. I'm not sure exactly which capo it's on, but I do remember that we're on capo, something like capo 5. So we can also do this if we're not on capo 5, but I think it's important to understand what the capo actually does for us. And it's such a beautiful, simple tool. The capo actually cuts the scale length of the guitar. It's no longer a Fender or a Gibson scale length at 25 1/4 or whatever it is, or the Martin, you know, the D28 or, you know, whatever. It's no longer the scale length of a guitar. So right away, if we start with a shorter scale length, it sounds like a different instrument altogether. So it helps us as songwriters to place our psyche, you know, songwriting psyche in a different place. And it's one very simple way to just advance our songwriting capacities into multiple new different applications and possibilities. And one of the things that I really love about this kind of chord progression is the common tone. I don't know about you, but I'm an absolute sucker for the common tone. The common tone being, you know, in this situation, the common tone is going to be the note that's held commonly from chord to chord. This high, whatever that is, it's a C note, but I'm going to look at it as fret number 3, even though it's in reality, it's fret number 8. But let's say I've cut the scale length. Now the guitar neck is this long. None of this exists. Doesn't matter. Gone. This is functionally, for me, fret number 3. You know, I would write this out in tablature. I would say capo number 5, and then I would call this fret 3. So I'm going to talk about this as if this were fret 3, because guess what? It's fret 3 now. You know, it's really fret 8, of course. This is a little bit of a confusing point for some of us, but and I understand how it can be confusing, but right now we're going to play the F chord shape, the old 3, 2, 1, and then the 4th finger on fret 3 on the high E string. Fingers 1 and 4 remain in the same locations, whilst this cellular structure here, you can see that finger 3 goes back 1 fret, up 1 string, and we find that these 2 fingers are also going to move down 1 string set together. So super easy, but it's not always that intuitive, you know. The chords, sometimes we'll look at chords and we think, oh, I've got to remove everything. And why is it so hard to play the guitar? I hate the people who tell me the guitar is supposed to be easy. They're, you know, weirdos or whatever. So the guitar isn't really intended to be easy, but it is intended to give us, you know, opportunities to mitigate risk and mitigate complications wherever we can. The guitar is a shape instrument, and that's why we're moving this shape down here on the 2 middle strings down to strings A and D on the same 2 frets, 3 and 2. So here's that second chord. The first chord I'll call, for the lack of better knowledge at the moment, this is an F add 9 shape. It's on fret number, so it's in the position where we're actually playing this as a B flat. And then we're playing this as a C chord with that same G note on the top. And then we're going down to one more step further. We're taking those same 2 fingers and just moving each down to the low E and A strings while we remove that first finger. So you notice my thumb way up here? My palm has no place to breathe here. It's right on the bottom of the guitar neck. So if I place my palm down here, my thumb in the middle of the back of the guitar neck, then I have enough room. I have plenty of room to breathe with my palm, you know, plenty of room. That pinky's a pivot point, you know. So if I'm playing this, the strum pattern could be as simple as this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4. So we're starting with the F shape to the C shape, and then we hang out on the B, or the G shape, F shape, and then C shape, and then the G shape, back to the C shape, and then up to the F shape, then we stay down on the G shape. Bass note first, and then working on the boom chick. So bass, chord, bass, chord, bass, chord. And I'm trying to make this as clean and clear as I possibly can with a combination of both the picking hand and fret hand techniques. One of the things we're up against is when we transition from the C chord down to the G, I've got to wait to remove that first finger from the C chord until I start playing the G note. Otherwise, we start interrupting the flow of the song. To, you know how I am. If you've been here for a little bit of time, you know that I really enjoy working out the melody for a song. So it's important for me to really try to understand what the melody is doing, because if I don't know the melody, how to play it on especially my primary instrument, where my guitar is my principal instrument, not my voice. Know the melody, it would be really cool to play the melody in harmony. Yeah, so the capo is a really great part of the instrument. It's a really great tool, and I think what we'll do is we'll finish up there. If you had any questions, now would be a great time, but I appreciate you all. I appreciate you being here with me throughout the course of the span of this year, and I've got to figure out what I need to do to stop this live stream. I think I haven't streamed widescreen for some time now, so I do appreciate you being here, and I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate your effort, the effort that you bring to your own life just to be here. So thank you for taking the time to get yourself back into your morning ritual, your sort of guitar routine. It's important stuff, and it's more important now probably than it ever has. It's at least as important as it's ever been. So here we go. Kevin's sending us off. Have a great day, everyone, until tomorrow. And like Kevin says, we'll see you tomorrow, and until that time, I wish you happy picking.